Welcome to Mick and the Psychic, where we leave no stone unturned as we explore all things outside the apparent physical realm.
There is no intent to teach or make you believe or disbelieve anything. It is just a safe space to listen and explore with us.
So for this next episode, you have permission to open your heart and mind as you join myself and Xavier on this deep dive into the unknown. So today's guest, we have a bit of a favourite, actually, of ours and our listeners. And I think we're in for a little bit of a treat too, because we have trance medium, spiritual artist and friend of the show, Elaine Thorpe. Elaine channels her guide, Jonathan. Last time on the show, we talked about Elaine, we talked trance work and her beautiful spiritual art and where all of that came from. This time, we're going to get to see, I guess, what's been happening with Elaine and perhaps even a visit from Jonathan Hunter himself. It's wonderful to have you back on the show, Elaine. We'll start off with, how have you been? It's been a long time. It's been nearly a year, I think. What have you been doing?
It has.
Oh, yeah, I've been doing a few demonstrations. I started again this year doing some demonstrations in the spiritual churches and halls. I've been doing some more art, trying to upgrade that a bit. That's been a bit all over the place, but I'm not staying in one place with that. I'm just trying to find myself really where that's concerned. Mm-hmm. I get bored with one thing and then they give me something else to do.
They obviously know what you like, so they know that they
must know.
Toss
yeah,
some stuff out
they
there.
lead me to new things. I think, oh, that's intriguing. Maybe I'll try and add a bit of spiritual into that, But they're always doing something. I've been doing some podcasts myself. Well, my son and partner Lucy organised that. I think we've even set up like a Patreon thing, which I didn't even know what one of those was. And they know what it is, so they've sorted it out.
That's
just so
excellent.
We can further the videos, have better equipment, and to go a little bit further with our travels if anyone wants a demonstration at their end of the country, So it'll work out over time. And then I've sort of been busy with readings every day. So
it's a big part of your role. So you're split up between going and doing shows and your artwork and readings as well. So a lot of time in the zone.
From, to be honest, and, you have to fit your life in as well. The mundane things of life, you have to fit them in and fit your family in. So it's not easy, not by any means, but I'm not giving it up. I love it. So I'm here to stay. Whatever spirit want me to do, I'm doing. So I'm happy with that.
That's really good.
Yeah, Sorry, go, Rex.
It keeps cutting out at the same time for me as well. I don't know how the reception is for you. It's like it's being cheeky today. So you guys will talk and then it freezes and I don't know what we're up to.
That's just at your end. Yeah, that's what you get for being psychic. Yeah.
Sorry. I was just going to say, Elaine, it's beautiful that your trust in following your intuition and doing what you're guided, which is really, really nice. I learned so much about you the first time, but it's just nice. It's nice being in flow, isn't it? Like just going with the flow and knowing what you're very trusting in what you are supposed to do. And that's been working out for you most of your life by memory. So,
yes. It's gone on a long time now. Mm-hmm. I've sort of gradually come through the journey, done a few different things over my time. I need to write about it, I know, but I'm useless with writing. I wouldn't even know where to begin because you've got to remember all what's happened as much as you can. And I will get round to it one of these days.
It's just putting all your thoughts in order. Trying to get those like memories down, and then maybe the book can sort of take shape then.
Ordering thought with me now. That's a new one.
That'd be great.
Sort of like a squiggly line, you know. All over the place.
Well, it sounds more realistic about kind of what life is like, isn't it? We like to think that life is a straight line, but the squiggly line all over the place is probably more
Oh
accurate.
yeah. Well, I'm always trying to think of new things, you see. And then we fit the videos in between all of that. So it can be quite tiring sometimes.
Well, thankfully you do, because people love it, and a book would be amazing. But with your art, where you're talking about upgrading the art, I think on the show last time we're talking about your guides talking about upgrades and next level with your artwork. Xavier and I were looking at some of your art. I think, was it a couple of months ago, X?
Yeah, I think so.
And we're going, oh my God, look at this
Yeah,
art. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh,
stunning.
thank you. Yeah, I look at other people's and think, theirs is good. Oh, I wish I could paint like that. But I thought, well, there's no point in me thinking like that. I've just got to go from the heart, because if you don't, you're just frustrated all the time because you can't reach your point. So if you go with paint from your heart or draw from your heart, that's when it becomes your own. That's when it becomes more comfortable. Otherwise, you're forever trying to find new things, and you're forever trying to be like somebody else, and you can't be. So you might as well just do it your own way. That's what I've come to know. And just other people give you inspiration, but I'm thinking to myself, well, yeah, that's good, but I need the spiritual inspiration, and that's what's most important about it. If they help me and give me the inspiration, then I'm fine with it.
Well, it definitely feels like there's healing codes or spiritual energy coming out of your artwork when you look at it. So do you set an intention when you're painting that it's going to help people?
Yeah, I do. Well, sometimes I think the inner child comes out, because it does in our work. Any artist, their inner child comes out, or their expression comes out. So it's not only spiritual, but it's a message for people. Might be a personal message, and it might be a self-expression, which is also connecting to another person. So this was the last. I love the feminine stuff with art. So I'll show you the last one I did.
Oh, lovely.
That ain't it. You have so many photos on your phone because you keep a record of what you do.
Yes.
There she is. There's the goddess.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Oh, wow. We're lucky for the people who can see this and rather than listening.
But the people that are just listening, we've got some incredible purples, blues, gold, yellow.
Like flowers coming up, and the beautiful butterfly in the middle as a centerpiece. Stunning.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I suppose it stands for freedom and the butterfly and the divine feminine, not only in females, but the male expressing themselves with their divine feminine. It's about nurturing, their nurturing side, the male nurturing side, the male caring side. See if I can find the other one. Her arm went a bit wrong, but
oh wow,
her arm was supposed to be a bit lower than that, but no.
Oh, good.
That's amazing. Yeah, beautiful. Very heavenly too.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got feels very angelic
Yeah, I'll show you
vibe
the
with
other
that one too.
There's two more. There's this one here.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Both leaning forward to try to.
Yeah,
No, it's all right. We're just like,
beautiful.
oh, gorgeous.
That's amazing.
You want to see that clearer? Yeah. Is that like an image? Is it like another image in the background, or is it the shadow? Like it looks
It's
like
like a shadow, but it looks
Yeah.
like an image.
it looks like another
Yeah.
image of somebody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm
behind
glad you picked up on that.
That's what shadows are. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
That's
I
a little
love that.
girl.
My gosh.
So
There's a
that's the first one I did.
oh wow. Incredible. Yeah, you're really capturing that powerful feminine theme as well. You capture that beautifully. And
I
the
like
darks are amazing. Yeah.
Thank you. I aim to do those. I'm getting addicted to doing them now.
Good.
So there will be more of those cards. There's the other one. I think that's the last one of the goddesses.
Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, beautiful.
And are you selling them as print, like, or you reprinting them? Like, how are you getting them to people?
Yeah, those are originals.
Original?
Done. She went to the United States. She did.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Did you do any prints of them, or is it just you sell the original and that's it? That's where it's meant to go?
Well, that's all I've done so far, but I'm thinking of stretching it out a bit. If it's a personal request, I don't print them because it's a personal soul message for that person. So
okay, beautiful.
But those aren't. They're just ones I've decided to do. So that's okay.
So it'll find the person it's supposed to go to, which is cool too.
Yeah. So I just thought might make some goddess cards.
I was thinking that, sounds like, you could probably do some wonderful cards, like, with your art. That would be amazing.
Yeah, if someone was going to make an oracle card deck, they could ask you to design the cards. Amazing.
I'd love it. I'd be there all day. I'm getting it done, wouldn't I?
We love interviewing experts from different fields about all things outside the apparent physical realm.
And the one constant is these phenomena are transmitted through energy.
So we sought out and teamed up with Subtle Energy Science
to bring you, our listeners,
energetic encoded technology you can use on your phone, laptop, computer, or tablet,
turning your device into a powerful personal quantum energy tool. Now, we're not the creators, or are we qualified enough to explain it at all, but there is a mind-blowing number of scientific studies available on their website.
We get to try their range ourselves so we can give an honest review. And until the end of April, we've got 20% off The Mystic with promo code MATP-861.
And I love using the Mystic. I love it more than anything else. And I notice it really helps if you want to open up your heart or tune in to a deeper awareness.
Now back to the show.
Well, thankfully we've got you here. And I think one of the things with artwork as well, you need to be quite vulnerable to that. That inner child to come out. You've got to make yourself vulnerable to do art and allow that exploration. It's interesting, the synchronicities between your art and your practice as a trance medium as well, where it's the same thing again. You have to make yourself vulnerable. You have to trust the process. Lots of people do things very different ways, and not comparing yourself and doing it your way. It sounds the same with the art as it is with your other practice. How have you found your trance work? Has that changed over time? Because you've been doing that since what, 2005?
It has. I don't know if it was just me being tired of the heat or not, but even without that, I found sometimes when the healing takes place, or my guide does healing,
yes,
I feel like I've fallen asleep and going elsewhere. Weird feeling. So I haven't quite got used to it yet. And then sometimes it's lighter, so I don't feel it. But it's something that's been happening over the past few weeks that I've been feeling like I'm not when he speaks, but when the healing takes place, or when I'm going into the trance or preparing to come out of the trance, there seems to be. So yesterday I was in a reading with someone and everything went quiet. I felt like I went into some sort of void somewhere. I didn't know she was there. I had no idea I was actually in a reading. And I thought, oh, where am I? It's like a world between worlds, like a void. And you feel like you've fallen asleep and you have no idea what's going on.
Oh, so you're going deeper now.
So it must be they're doing it little bit by little bit. And that's what he said he would do. But I thought, oh, maybe it's just me being tired. Sometimes you get like a slump, don't you, in the day, in the afternoon or something. You sit down and think, oh, just fall asleep. But I thought, well, maybe it was that, maybe it wasn't. So I'm just trying to see how many times it happens, whether I feel tired or not, I'm just trying to fathom out what's happening to me. But I'm pretty sure that they're trying to take me further away. I'm just waiting till I'm not so tired, and then I know whether it's them doing it or whether it's just I'm tired. You know, I've got to work out the two.
I don't know. And so the way you're describing that, for me as a meditation teacher, and using trance a lot with hypnotherapy, obviously, that doesn't sound like a sleepy kind of experience. And I can't tell you because only you know your experience, just like everyone only knows their own experience. But it sounds to me like more of a transcendental state. So transcending from the state of personality where you're Elaine and transcending that into another place. So it's not sleep, it's not awake, not being aware of where you are because you may not even be aware of who you are or what you are. So coming back from that, that feels like it's a deeper transcendental state where maybe you're separating yourself even more from the process whilst in trance or doing the healing, to maybe it's better healing, maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know that end, but from what you're explaining, it feels like it's more transcendental where you're going out of your personhood. And then of course it's like a void space because you probably can't explain what it feels like. Is that right?
Well, it's like you're nowhere for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're everywhere, but you're nowhere, and this quiet void of space. And it's like you probably experienced it yourself. Every human can get into that state. They can.
Yeah, that's right. Not everyone can do it on call though. Not many can. But from the work that you're doing, it sounds very powerful, and it sounds like a state where it's probably very pleasant for you afterwards, recalling it, but probably more for the people that you're sharing the healing with, that it's some kind of upgrade again with the healing. So that's very interesting.
It is. And it happens, and I think, oh, you know, is this just such weird things happen? It's not always the void of space. It's like things you're shown, and then they just completely vanish, and you've completely forgotten them. And then another thing, and then that could, you know, it just like sparks of it. So it doesn't get held there. It's like these little snippets of spaces where you are, then that disappears, vanishes, and you think, oh, where did that go? You know, you can't even decide or have time to decide what happened to that thought or that space in your mind before you're taken out of that, and then something else might happen. It's so weird. It's so hard to explain. It's weird. It's like fractals of the mind, you know.
Yeah. One thing people like to try and do, I guess with meditation as well, to try and get to the point where they don't identify with their thoughts as much, and that those thoughts can come and they can go, and they're less relevant to who you really are.
It's so
So it might be a side effect of you, I guess, maybe merging into the real you, not the transient you.
Cool.
Yeah, the human me does my head in sometimes, but
it's still there though. Thank God it's still there, because we can still have a podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yes, I didn't know that you were a meditation teacher, so you've got quite a lot of knowledge, haven't you? I just thought that perhaps we were thinking about doing something with our channel where we get a few people on, and perhaps my son interview them, and perhaps as a meditation teacher you could, because people ask me about meditation. They ask about meditation and how difficult they find to do it. And perhaps if we can get a time where you'd like to come onto our channel and and be interviewed on there about your teaching and meditation, how you can help people. Now that would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to do that. That would be great fun.
Well, I just want to help other people as well, you know, because it's not just about me. It's about other people and how they can help people to further their awakening and understand what's happening to them. So you've got all that knowledge under your belt. I don't know how long you've been doing it, but probably quite some time, I should imagine. And you've got all that knowledge about meditation and how to help people. May help to bring some people to you, you know, and teach them how to meditate. Or because not all people can meditate on their own. They like guided meditation. And
I like guided. I can. Guided's great.
Yeah, if you have a crowded mind or an active mind, then guided meditation is probably the better thing for you, because people think too much, and then the thinking gets in the way, and before you know it, you start to think about earthly things rather than
you're thinking about not thinking. That's probably the biggest
and you're
one.
struggling. You're absolutely struggling. So it doesn't become a pleasure. It becomes, oh no, I don't know how to do it. Or so talk about it on the channel, then it might help come to you, so you can help them.
Good.
Sounds great. Unfortunately, the knowledge I've got, the more I know, the more I realize that I don't know anything at all. But I can share with you my experience, and I can share with you what I've learnt. But then everything's so different.
That would just be nice, you know. I'd just like to help a few people on there.
Love to.
Just get it going and help them with their spiritual journey, and then people can come to you, and you can do whatever you want, you know, to help them.
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone works so differently too. I think it's wonderful that we are all so different, and that we do trust and use some intuition with how we work, particularly from a spiritual perspective, because everyone's going to have something different to offer. And, you know, what will relate really much to one person with how Xavier does things might not relate to what I do, or vice versa. And that's why we're all so individual, so we can just hit things from different angles. And I love that. Yeah, beautiful.
That's all right. So, you know, whatever else you want to ask, that's fine. Or if you want Jonathan to come in.
Well, he's definitely invited.
I feel like it's zoning in that way anyway.
Yeah,
I'm sure Jonathan's
didn't have him last time.
Itching to come through.
Yeah, we didn't have him last time, and we thought, because we wanted to really get to know you and your story more, and we thought maybe this time it'd be really interesting to see if there's anything he would like to share for our listeners, or for us, or mainly our listeners or watchers. Yeah, if you're up to it, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that's fine. Now I need music, so would you be able to, like, I know you can do things where the music goes out of it because of the copyright stuff, you know?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that right? I mean, you can always take, like, lower the music, or what you can do is mute the music, so it's not on there. You just see me going into trance, and then as soon as he starts to talk, turn it back on again.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
No
We'll put our own music over it so people can drift off with a different track.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. You lot know what you're doing.
Take your time.
You
take your time, and if it needs to be edited because everyone's just staring at you, waiting for you to connect,
that's fine.
You'll edit it.
Yeah, and if you've got your own music that you can put over the top of it, that's great.
Beautiful.
It's nice. Oh, thank you. Makes it easier for you and for me, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can see how the master does the thing. Would you like us to be quiet?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Just until he comes through, and then you can talk. Hello. I am pleased to be here.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I thank you.
Mhm.
I am Elaine's twin soul and spirit guide throughout her life here on the earth. You all have spirit guides and guardian angels. Hello. We have Genevieve, Elaine's guardian angel.
Beautiful.
I am Genevieve. I am pleased to meet with you.
Thank you. We are too. Aren't we lucky?
We're all here. Time is progressing. And so is your world connecting to ours. The veil of spirit is thinning. It is us connecting with you more clearly, and you trusting in the situation of what is happening in this lifetime is all meant to be, in the end, for the greater good. That is right. You may ask us questions if you want to.
Thank you very much for coming through, both Genevieve and Jonathan and others. I'm interested, this veil that is thinning and this connection that we're having closer in this dimension. Is this something that's happened before?
In times gone by, with the Egyptians and the Mayans and the Aboriginals and many other culturalisms, they have known about spirituality since time began, I would say, before you existed. When they existed, they knew about the connection to the universe, and they knew about the directions that they were going in. Even though they didn't have a clock, they would know about the universe, the connection to night and day, and all of the stars and constellations. And so they had great knowledge, which was somehow scuppered in modern times. As you came into the times of Victorian times when I was around, it was still seen as witchcraft, spiritual connection. Then you got the medieval times. So you see, from those sort of times, it was somehow lessened because it had to be hidden away. Whereas before that, you seem to go backwards with your connection. And so therefore, after time has gone by, you are beginning to realize that connection to spirit is seen as something that is more common these days, more open, and more people are accepting it once again. You see, they're not trying to hide it. So it is something that has always been there, always, and always been known about, yet it has been dampened down by the societies of people that believe that it is wrong. But it isn't wrong if done in the right way. If it is done in the light, that is absolutely fine.
So is this a more cycles? So it's always there, but is it cycles of time that allow for this veil to lower?
Yes, but it is a huge worldly spiritual awakening happening at this present time. It is the best time to be in the physical, I would say. Although you are seeing it as very difficult, it is the best time because people are waking themselves up. They are realizing what is true, what isn't, but they are also spiritually awakening and connecting themselves to their divine selves, which is the spirit within.
So is that a way that the veil would be thinning because more people are opening their hearts and minds, therefore making it more seeable to us?
That is right.
Beautiful.
you are beginning to trust a little more over time, and you are becoming ever more inquisitive about things that are seemingly unknown but known by your soul. You see, you come into this conditioned ego-based world and you forget about it. But therefore, it's not something of an evilness there. It is something that is there for you to rediscover. It is an exciting and exhilarating and enlightening journey that you go on. See? So your soul knows it, but the ego is left to pick it up again and to see how far you can take it, because it is absolutely limitless.
Mm.
That is right.
From where you are, as opposed to us in our human form having this human experience, does it feel like as a collective, us humans are getting better at, does it look like one day we can all be on the same page together, knowing that there's so much more where we came from, working together? I always wonder, does it feel like there's an end in sight? Because some of us have hope that we'll all be on that same level one day and the world will just be a more peaceful place, and others feel like there's just too many negative people dragging it down and halting it.
Yes, I think that they don't want you to see past your own empowerment and ability, because they want to harness that for themselves. So they have kept it under wraps all of these years and tried to dampen it down in people. But people are beginning to realize that there is more to you than just this mortal existence, which is, of course, very much incredible. Yes, it is a miracle in itself. But there is more empowerment and power to you than what there is in just the physical. And so therefore, that has been scratched out for a few years. And I would say that it is very much becoming more clear, the fact that this worldly awakening is happening, that people can connect to their higher selves a lot more easier than what they could in times gone by.
Mm. I'd love to bring up the higher self. I've used the term higher self a lot when doing hypnotherapy with people, just as a name for a part of themselves that isn't in the human form. We've talked about human and yourself, Jonathan, and I think maybe Genevieve, it's a bit different, but at least for you, Jonathan, when you were here and you were human, how are you any different to what you are now in the form you're in now? Are we using the term human incorrectly?
Well, the term human is the physical, isn't it? You know, it's the ego. The life is based on complete ego. The ego is an emotion. It's not sinister. It is something that teaches you something. You see, the ego is the one that brings it. You think it brings doubt, and you have all that sort of thing, because you are not only living in the ego state of mind, but there are other people's judgments from their ego that make you doubt yourself as such. So therefore, you live by others' judgments, and you want to give people the best in life, but you are afraid of being judged, so you limit yourself. So therefore, that side of the ego is somewhat of an unpleasantness, but it does teach you to be more empowered over time and become stronger, more determined and confident in your ability to outreach your higher consciousness and use it for the betterment of not only your own journey, but others. So you see, people become afraid and they limit themselves because they are fearing judgment. They want everything to be just so, but it takes time to trust in what is happening, what the process is of enlightenment and spiritual awakening, and of course the connection between your world and ours. There's a lot more to it than one might think.
Yep.
And for Genevieve, is that different again, being an angelic guide? Is there a different experience for you?
There is an experience for me that, and for all the souls in heaven, that you no longer have the gravitational weighing down of the physical, the limit of the physical. You become free, light, and limitless. So you see, you only have the consciousness that survives physical death. So with the consciousness that doesn't have the physical, of course, you can become physical if you have enough energy to manifest that, but it is mostly seen as becoming real in a dream state. So you can manifest it in a person's dream state, that you may want to give them a hug and you feel physical to them, you see. So you can pull enough energy together to manifest that, but to manifest ourselves physically in your world, unless that person is attuned to that, it can be very difficult. And the other factor is we don't want to jump out in front of you and frighten you.
Thank you.
So, you know, sometimes we would do it a little more subtly by sending you a sign. But the fact that I am not physical, and I've had many physical lifetimes, I think that the non-physical is the most beautiful existence. But therefore, if you want to turn it around, you could say that the physical is also a beautiful existence, that it's only the ego and the conditioning of other people's judgment that somehow dampens it down a bit and makes you think to yourself, well, maybe I want to be more ethereal, or maybe I want to go back home. But it can be very testing for some people. But it is, for me, myself, as I was lifted out of the physical, I felt very light, very warm, very loved, very free. So it is quite some experience that if you are still in the earthly sense of being alive on the earth, and you wanted an experience that felt of freedom, you could therefore work on allowing yourself to have an out-of-body experience where you become free for a period of time. Which
actually leads me to a question I was going to ask, which maybe you preempted, and maybe it's too cheeky to ask, but the recent experiences that Elaine has been having with the healing works, has that been another level for her in being able to experience the non-physical, or is that something else that's happening? Or can you not answer the question?
Yes, well, forgive me for interrupting.
No.
An experience that she is reaching a point where she is able to quieten her mind as such and trust and let go a little bit more as time goes by. It doesn't seem to happen so much as when I am speaking, but of course that she is aware and can hear what is going on at that point.
Yes.
But if there is a quietness of mind, or you can sometimes differentiate between tiredness and quietness of mind, then it is certainly happening that she is going a little deeper and becoming more trusting and letting go. And little snippets of that will become apparent to her over time.
I don't want to steal all the questions, Xavier.
Everyone comes to me, I'll definitely interrupt. I'm just
okay. Thank you. I don't want to take over. I'll get in trouble in the physical world from Xavier if I go too far.
No, I'm just taking it all in.
Time. It's interesting you mentioned time, Jonathan. Do you experience time at all?
We do not. We're not living in a linear space of time, but of course time is very, very pinpointed, very, very exact over the centuries that these sundials and then forwarding into clocks that you put on your wall. They are very, very pinpointed and very, very obviously connected to time and the universe and everything that is. But of course, you rely on it because the rules in your world are, well, you have to be to your employment by such and such a time, or where has the time gone? It's time. You use your routine.
Yes.
To blame upon time. You say, I haven't had time to do that because my routine stopped it, or the fact that I'm trying to get too much in at once. So time is of linearness, and there is no existence of time in our world. There is only the eternal being, the eternal moment. So every moment is a moment. You see, and you're living in the similarity of condition in your life, which are more physical, reliant on time and routine. But you are always going to be a similarity of living in the moment. Whatever state of mind you are in, you are completely in the present moment. You see, that's the present. So the present, even in the future, when you get to the future of what you see as a future, you will still be in the present. If you were in a dream state, you'd be in a present moment. You're eternally in the present moment, you see. So when you come back to being non-physical, you are spirit, then you are always going to be again in the present moment, but you are in the beautiful ecstasy of every present moment, and you haven't got to rush to be anywhere, because you can bilocate. When you bilocate, you can have several different thoughts going on in your human mind as you bilocate your thoughts, but you cannot physically be there and be in 5 or 6 different places, whereas our consciousness is, because it has no limited state of being in the physical, then that can bilocate and be in several different places at once, literally. So wherever you are, whatever you create is your vision or thought. There is no wanton, there is no expectancy, there is just the vision of there, the moment, the present moment. So the moments can be fragmented into different spaces with bilocation of thought, and thought is what you are, what you become. That is consciousness.
I really love that explanation, and I feel, so what you're saying is, if you can imagine being in those places, your consciousness actually is. But to people, like to humans, they think, well, if I'm not physically there, it's not actually happening. So I love that you're explaining that you actually are there if you in your mind.
You're in the present moment. But you are, you could probably see yourself as if you are embroiled in the fullness of the moment. So you see, you're not embroiled in the fullness of the moment. So you could have several moments going on in your mind. You see several thoughts, and you cannot physically be there, but you could have 5 or 6 thoughts going on, all confused in your mind. Yet you are still present here in the moment that you're sitting in. You're in that moment, but your thoughts go into other moments. So they're all moments within the same time, within exactly the same time that you're here, yet your thoughts are there, but you're always going to be present here.
Do you think humans could just throw clocks away and cope on Earth without time?
Well, yes, they know the difference between morning, afternoon, evening, and night. You see, they know that perhaps nighttime is waking for some because they have to have an employment, but they forget that they have to live by time, because the conditioning of your world, you see, is saying, well, you have to be at your place of employment by a certain amount of time. If you had no clock or no time to guide you, you would probably be late, because you wouldn't know exactly what time of day it was. You could only surmise it.
But if the boss also threw away their clocks, like, do you think we'd just descend into chaos? Are we capable?
You probably would, because you've got different times of day in the world.
Yes.
So you need some sort of a tightness of a regime of time to get you through. It's all meant to be. It's all in a sort of a puzzle of time and life, isn't it?
I wonder if it comes back to what we were talking about earlier with cycles, Jonathan, that time of day is just a cycle of this planet and how it spins and rotates. Is it more accurate that we experience cycles
Yes.
as human?
Yes. Going through the motions most of the time. If you are doing something that you are particularly enjoying or having to concentrate on, you don't think about time. You only seem to think about time for your appointments and places you have to be in. You see, any other time you're not thinking about it. You suddenly stop what you're doing. Oh, what is the time? Well, I have to be there by such and such. Now I have remembered the time. I'm going to get immediately stressed in mind and rush around and go mad because I'm late. You see, but all that time before that, you've been doing something that you were concentrating on. You hadn't been worrying about time until you looked up at the clock or the telephone that you have this time on, and you realized that you were later than you thought, you see. So you have no vision of time within that thought.
Mm-hmm.
You're busy doing something that you were particularly concentrating on or enjoying doing, that you forgot about the time, you see. And that's when you're in a perfect moment, really.
Yeah.
Because you're not thinking about where you have to rush to be.
Yeah. And I think as well, where we're talking about how we've made time so accurate and pinpoint, it can be laughed at when your experience of time changes so differently. If I'm drinking a beer, time goes very fast, Jonathan. If I'm doing my taxes, time goes very, very slow.
Yes, because
So,
those are the things that you don't particularly enjoy doing.
yes.
So it's like a mundane task, and there's a lot more involved in it. So you have to use your mind to concentrate on that particular
Yes.
task.
Mm.
And so therefore, when you're drinking a beer, you're in pleasure of time. You're doing something that you want to do. So you'll find that the time usually has a sensation of feeling of being dragging when you're doing something that is mundane and you don't particularly want to do it.
So it's funny how accurate our time is with clocks, but not so much in experience.
Yes, you have become so, I would say you've had time burned into your mind. You go to the spirit world, every moment is joyous. You haven't got anywhere to rush to be. You haven't got any rules. So when we come to visit you, we know exactly when you're going to ask us to come and visit you. We know the plan. We know the puzzle of life. We know it has been pre-planned, so we know that we are part of that plan. We don't have to rush to be there. We just find greatness of pleasure in being there. Whereas a person on the earth would exist by an appointed time. We would just be there because you have asked us to be, and that we have planned to be anyway.
And
I love that.
we think sometimes that we are the doers here on this earth. I think when I'm in flow is when I realize I'm not doing at all. I'm just experiencing as this ego named Michael. On your end, do you feel like sometimes you're the doer? As I guess, has the personality Jonathan still doing in the spirit world?
We are always doing.
Uh-huh.
We are connecting with your world on a daily basis. We are learning further on how to create a stronger and better connection with your world. You see, it's not like computers where you want internet connection. It is whether or not the person is attuned to the thought, and we can impress that onto their minds in many, many different ways. So we are learning how to connect and how to communicate with you more clearly. Hence, the thinning of the veil is bringing that about.
I just wanted to say, I've felt like I was a bit of a doer in helping at the start when Elaine was connecting with you, and I closed my eyes and tuned in, and I asked if there was any other entities or beings that come from a place of love, if they would like to join us also. And then there was Genevieve, and you said others. And so I love that you said that. We already know that you're going to ask that or think of that. We're already planning.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Everything is
helping. It just was going to happen. Or you knew I was going to say that in my mind, or that's so cool.
Yes, well, we know the journey, you see. The journey is about the puzzle of life. And it all fits, you see. So we know literally what has been pre-planned in someone's life. Everything is synchronicity. There is nothing that isn't. It is all connected and interwoven in life. The moment, the connection of what you're doing, what you're saying, where you are, it is all pre-planned.
Even if you make it,
my motto is that life is a pre-cut puzzle that you just take apart and put back together again.
So people would often, like, some people get torn when that's explained to them, thinking, well, don't we get to make choices? And so if we
The
decide
choices are the soul. The soul is the one that has the free will, you see.
yes.
The ego is just something that is an earthly conditioning, as it's earthly. But there again, it is an emotion, so you are emotional every moment of your life. So you are, I would say, preconceived emotional beings, sentient. And everything is put together as a puzzle of life, which seemingly is never ending.
Mhm.
Because it continues in the spirit world. The learning continues there, but it is not forced upon you. It is something that you wish to do.
So if our life is sort of pre-planned and things are happening, and then when we make a decision, does that mean that the sort of pre-planned things that are already expected, that the soul already knows, it's different variations, so no matter which you choose, it's always ready to go? Or is it change and
Right.
adapt as you
That's
make
right.
it?
All of your twists and turns in life are all decided by your soul. You know, I cannot lie to you. I will not lie to you. And other guys that you may ask that will tell you the same thing, that your life is all preconceived. Everything, every decision that you make. And the souls are all helping one another, aren't they, on their journey, mostly with family connections, but even other people that like yourself that are here today. They're all part of the greater picture, all part of the plan. You see the connection at certain points in people's lives, that they meet these people and they've never seen them before in life, but yet their souls know what's going on, and they communicate with each other as you are here because you plan to do it.
So even the decision that you make is preconceived, like, so
Yes.
soul knows
Yes.
the decision you will make. Wow.
Yes, that's right. That is the absolute and utter truth, because I always state to people that when you go to a medium or you have perhaps a tarot reading, you want to know about the future. Well, if you hadn't planned a future before you came here, how can they tell it to you and that it comes right?
This is true.
Have you got the message now? You see, it's all preempted, yes, because when that person says to you, well, this and this and this is going to happen, and that comes true for an amount of time later, and it's all exactly true, then that means that your soul has planned every last detail of life and who the soul meets, and the other souls have planned to meet you, and so on and so forth. Do you see how it's all interwoven?
Quite the tapestry.
Mm.
Yes, you've taken the words right out of my mouth.
I I wonder, with this tapestry that's been woven and being played out, is there a learning that is happening from the spirit level from all of this?
There's a raising of consciousness, a raising
Okay.
of awareness of that consciousness.
Mm.
And it's becoming absolutely apparent that it's happening the world over. It doesn't mean to say that everybody's going to suddenly drop everything and become spiritual, because there are religions that people are brought up into. I must say, in my life, I was not a particularly religious person, but a family religion was traditionalism in those days more than anything else. It didn't mean to say that you had to study it, but some people are avid religiousness, and of course, we're not here to judge them. So it doesn't mean to say that they're all going to drop and come this way, but they will experience things that they have not particularly known before.
Okay.
I'm interested, this merging, this lowering of the veil, this raising of the consciousness. What's that mean on the spirit world side? Obviously, experientially, it's going to be a upgrading, different experience here on Earth. But what does it mean on our spiritual side to raise this, for lack of better words, consciousness?
Well, it means that it is you raising your awarenesses, that there is something else after this physical existence. You are coming to know that there is more than just the earth and yourself. And that you are able to connect to another realm that is in total true existence.
So is that any benefit to the spirit realm?
Yes, it does.
Beautiful.
It makes us very happy knowing that others have connected with us. We want to bring love and happiness and peace. We do not have any benefit as such. It is only going to benefit the souls that have forgotten who they are. The souls haven't forgotten, but the ego side of it has. So we just need to switch on the light of that so that the person can realize that they are worth more than they think they are, and they are more than they think they are. The soul will always know. It is the ego that is the limitation.
This question's just popped in my mind for, I feel like I'm asking on behalf of people watching or listening. How do you feel about people who feel like they have done the wrong thing? Because we have rights and wrongs here on earth. And how do you feel like about people who are punishing themselves or think they've done something bad that's seen as bad here or frowned upon? Is everything frowned upon or looked down on the same way we think of it ourselves here on earth? Does that make sense?
It isn't, because we see the greater picture, the result after that greater picture. We are not here to particularly judge anyone. But people will, on the earth, they will feel guilty about things and they will judge themselves and self-sabotage themselves. They do it on a daily basis. But we are not here to judge. We are only here to love. What we are saying to you is that sometimes people come across to the spirit world with guilt, remorse, that sort of thing, but they are totally loved. Their soul may have chosen to remain in the lower realms and commit terrible atrocities, but when they come back to the spirit world, you see, time, as I say to you, means nothing. So several years may pass by, and that means nothing. It's just a blink of an eye. But that soul may have great remorse for what they have done. You see, they may have committed terrible atrocities, killed thousands and thousands of people, and they go across and they have to see what they have done. And then they begin to feel every single one of their emotions, and what happened to them and their families, everything. Can you imagine how that feels? So that's just sort of the tip of the iceberg of what they had done, which sometimes they will go away with guilt, which causes sometimes the lower realms to clutch at them, and then they may want to reincarnate again, get it right. And over lifetime after lifetime, they will become a better person, and they will learn that it is wrong to do things of that nature. They may not even remember the previous lifetime because it has been too traumatic for them to remember what they did or what they were involved in, but they still come back to learn. So you feel each other's emotions in the spirit world. When you are shown your life and what you had done, and what you had learned from what you had done, then you're going to know every single emotion. So if you had upset someone in life, you would know their emotion. And depending on the severity of it or how long it had gone on for, you may feel it stronger. We have had them saying, well, stop, we don't want to experience anymore. But it doesn't mean to say that they are any less loved. They remain in the spirit world because they have been generally a good person. You see, they are loved, and you are not expected to be perfection in human form because you live by ego and conditioning thoughts and judgmental thoughts. But yet you are loved in the spirit world because we know that the soul had a particular plan.
That is a wonderful explanation.
yes, that plan was going to be carried out, and of course, the soul had decided it.
Mm.
But again, there are these lower realms of spirit that these people, these souls, have incarnated from there and committed terrible atrocities, but they will still come lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, many lifetimes before they actually get it right. And they, as I say, will become a better being.
Mm.
It's interesting. I remember the term from Sunday school when I was a little kid, as above, so below, right? And I'm a bit of a broken record because a lot of the time I say a thing that is acknowledged is a thing that is transcended, which is not from me. It's from Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. But it's a lot with the healing that I see is people being able to understand or acknowledge all parts of the situation. So acknowledging their pain and what's happened to them, as well as maybe their perpetrator or the victim, and understanding all of it. And only after they have a full acknowledgement of what it is that they can let that emotion go and move into the next phase.
That is correct.
So
Yes.
is this what's happening on the spirit side as well? Is this just a fractal of what happens in the spirit world, but on obviously a larger, well, seems to us a larger scale, or exactly the same scale?
Yeah.
Yes, that is what is happening.
Hmm.
You know, it's all unfolding, isn't it? Everything is unfolding on your earth and in heaven as well. You see, that has always gone on. The soul will see their own emotion and how, yes, their perpetrator has hurt their feelings and how they can overcome that. They may even want to reincarnate in time to correct that, you see. And they may want to help the soul correct it, so the other soul that was the perpetrator in the previous lifetime will come back and try to get it right again, but they will have no memory of what they did. They will soul will just know the journey.
Yeah. Wow.
I've asked this to lots of different healers and spiritualists, and I would love to ask this question to you too, Jonathan, or maybe Genevieve might be able to help too. Why do we keep coming here and having these lessons and evolving and growing? What's the end goal? Do we know, or can it be shared?
End goal.
Yeah, what are we evolving to?
What are we doing?
You are evolving into absolute pure light that has an untaintedness to it. There's nothing to taint it. Pure light of the spirit. You see, that is what you become. You'll become nothingness, yet everything. You have need for nothing. You are it. You are love. You are light. You are truth. So you see, that takes a lot of lifetimes, doesn't it, really?
Yes.
And seeing as every lifetime, you cannot always be perfect. You're not as you are perfection within, but you are not perfect in human behavior. Then you're never going to be completely perfect in that sense, but you are already the perfect light, the perfect soul within. So therefore, lifetime after lifetime, you may decide that you want to become a spirit guide like myself, or you may decide that you want to work through mediums and give healing. So lots of different things that are used to progress our souls to the most highest point of light, whether it's total nothingness. But of course, if you got to the point of total nothingness, would you want that? You would, yes, because you are like a moth to the light, you know, bashing away at it, trying to become it, you see.
Yes. So do we start off as pure love and energy, and then we came here to be tainted and then go and get back there? Or do we have, was that part of us in the first place before we decided to come?
I believe that there were two sides to everything, and that you wanted the spiritual experience and the physical experience also. to learn about unconditional love in a physical experience. So you could expand your travels to being a physical and the spiritual. So two sides to every story out there.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you. That's a wonderful explanation.
Well, I'm sure we could ask questions all night, but we don't want Elaine to implode. We do have cycles. I won't call it time because time's flown for me. This has been a beautiful cycle to enjoy this conversation, this very special conversation with you, Jonathan and Genevieve. Before you leave us and Elaine comes back, is there anything that you feel you would like to share with us all? I say us all, including people listening.
I would like to share with you all that it shall prevail over time that you are learning, that you are awakening, all of you. And we are here with you on this journey. We love you all of you. We love you. And we are here for you whenever you need us. But the journey of trust is one of testing, but never let go, never give up, because you are progressing all of the time. It never stops.
Thank you very much.
We send our love and blessings to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome back, Elaine. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, that's all right.
Must be so tiring.
It's all right. I'm used to it. I do it every day. I asked for it, so I got it.
Yeah, careful what you ask for, people, because this could be your life.
Well, what better way to live your life, actually?
Yeah.
Better way is this, this is my life now. And I'm so glad I did choose it, really. I can't think of anything better to do with my life. So I hope you get to think that same way, and we probably do already. But, I'd like to thank you for having me on here today.
Thank you so much. You are obviously very, very blessed, and you are an absolute blessing to all of us. So thank you so much for your time and for sharing and connecting with Jonathan and bringing him through. It's beautiful to talk to you and to talk to your spirit guide, Jonathan Hunter, and Genevieve. Has Genevieve come through before, Elaine?
Oh, yes. She used to come through in our group, and then she didn't disappear. Obviously, our guardian angel was with us, but she stepped back for a while, quite a while, and then just of late she started coming through again. I mean, they don't desire to have any names; they just give it to us because we like something to identify with.
Yeah.
So she's just a being of light that we all have with us, all of us.
Beautiful.
But I have a friend called Rob Goodwin. He's been a trance medium for over 50 years. So if you ever want to talk to him, I'm sure he would love to join you both.
Wow, we'd love to have a chat to Rob as well. Wonderful. So a friend of yours is a friend of ours.
That's right.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever helps people. That's all we need is spread the word of the light everywhere as much as we can, and give other people opportunities as well. So I quite like doing that, actually. I quite seem to like people talking about their journeys. So that's another opportunity for you both, and
thank you.
I wish you both well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Explained as well that would help. The more people that you help, like it's helping us all get to evolve and grow which is everybody's goal that we have in common, which is lovely.
Mm.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and what a goal, eh?
Mhm.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
It is.
Thank you so much, Elaine, for having you on a show. We appreciate you coming back.
Yeah, well, I'll see you another time.
We will. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Elaine. Enjoy your sunshine over there in England.
I will, as long as it lasts.
That's it for another episode. Thanks to our sponsor, Subtle Energy Sciences. Click the link in the show notes to access their full product range of quantum healing technology.
And thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. We're so grateful for your contribution to keep this podcast going.
If you'd like to join our Patreon, you can receive bonus full episodes, early release, and monthly readings and meditations.
We love to hear from you, so please comment on our YouTube channel or email us at mickandthepsychic@gmail.com.
I'm a certified hypnotherapist and timeline regression therapist. If you wish to contact me to explore the source of an issue you're facing, just book a session at hearnhypnosis.com and include the promo code MATP for 10% off. You can contact me on Insta and Facebook at hearnhypnosis.
Check out my website at optimisticxavier.com.au if you feel you'd like to connect with me as a psychic medium, spiritual mentor, or intuitive coach. Include the promo code MATP for 10% discount. You can also find me on Insta, LinkedIn, and Facebook.
We look forward to connecting with you again next time as we attempt to leave no stone unturned.
Bye.
All right, cool. I reckon that should be okay.